We're all going to have a little bit of a rest, but what we did was sit down with a cup of coffee and talk about our favourite recipes over the past 12, 18 months. We've collated them together so that you can enjoy some of our best bits of 2022 and 2023. Welcome to my kitchen. I am here today to cook two fabulous dishes. I have got a guest. I told you I would convince him to come into the kitchen. We've got Kerry Irving here today, albeit the dogs aren't with us yet, but you are here and ready to cook. Maybe?
I'm ready to eat.
You're ready to eat?
Ready to eat.
Now, I've developed a couple of recipes for this week's episode. We've been kind of planning this over a few coffees and sitting out with the dogs and stuff like that, trying to work out how we're going to do this, because we knew one day that we would sort of get in the kitchen and we will also get outside and do some cooking as well. But Kerry set me a challenge. You've got a big charity walk next week, haven't you?
We have indeed. We've got a 16-mile walk on Friday.
Yeah.
And I need sustenance for the walk.
So that was the challenge. And I wanted to create not only something for that, but also some recipes that you can cook at home. So pasta was one request, wasn't it? Because you like to sort of carb up a bit on pasta, yeah?
Yeah, if we're doing a big walk, we tend to do like we carb up the day before and during the walk as
yeah.
well, because it is quite a big challenge, to be fair. It's not just like a 16-mile flat walk. We're doing quite a lot of mountain walking.
Yeah. There's not much flat around here, is there?
No, and you need a full stomach to do it.
So we're going to cook a beautiful pasta dish. Now, I'm going to cook some spaghetti and I'm going to make a Tuscan ragu, and I'm going to use venison from Holker Hall. Now, I've got a friend who has a company called Gourmet to Go, and it's like an app where you can order amazing artisanal produce, and he dropped off some beautiful venison, and I thought venison might be right up your street.
You always go for the expensive stuff, though, don't you?
Oh, he got me on this yesterday. Go on.
Pete sent me a message basically saying, I've got this brilliant dish to make, and the hands were going, and he said, I've got you some venison to cook. And I said, oh, you always go for the most expensive cuts. He said, I got it free. And I said, it's still dear.
Where's the drum set?
There's the exit. Anyway, so with the venison, I then started to think about the flavours that work with venison. And for me, juniper works incredibly well with venison. Rosemary works really well. Wild mushrooms work well, little bit of red wine to kind of help make a sauce, butter, parmesan. So all very sort of Tuscan, autumnal flavours, and we'll wrap it all up with some perfectly cooked pasta. It will be delicious.
It's what I normally eat on every walk.
And then, so to make something for the walk, we thought flapjacks, power bars, energy bars, a bit boring. So what I decided to come up with was, I'm going to show you how to make the perfect brioche. So it's an enriched bread dough with butter and eggs. It's absolutely delicious. But we're going to split it in half, and we're going to flavour one half with walnuts and cheese, but not just any walnuts. Walnuts in Marmite. I know you're a Marmite fan.
I do like Marmite. We do.
So it's like a tear and share bread, and you can tear off a savoury bit, or you can tear off a sweet bit, and the sweet bit has got all kinds of lovely seeds and delicious things like that, and dried fruits. So it's like an energy bar, but brioche is our vessel to carry that. So let's crack on. So we're going to do the brioche first. So mixing jug.
Just sit here, Pete, you just carry on.
Yeah. So, right. So 450 grams strong bread flour. Okay. Do you make bread much?
I have tried in the past, but it sort of comes out looking like a flapjack, to be honest.
Okay. So 450 grams of bread flour, and then we've got 11 grams of yeast. So normally you would only use 7 grams for a loaf, but because we're enriching it with butter and eggs and things like that, it needs a bit more lift.
Are you on dried or fresh?
Dried yeast, it's a lot more convenient. And then I've got 10 grams of salt and 60 grams of sugar, which will sort of give it just that slight sweetness.
You use brown sugar, not white?
Yeah, it's got flavour. Yeah, white sugar's just sweetness. I'm using a little bit of brown sugar, but if you've only got white, it's not going to not work. It's just a preference. So, I mean, ultimately, this recipe will just make a really beautiful brioche, end of.
Okay.
But we're going to turn it into something useful to you on your walk. So we've blended all those together because you don't want the salt and the yeast to sit next to each other because salt will kill yeast. Okay? So once that's blended up, we're now going to go in with our eggs. So we've got 2 eggs straight in, and that'll give us our richness. And when you start this bread off,
I'm just checking for shells. The crunchy bits.
and then in with some water. Okay, so 125 mils of water. Now this will seem quite a dry bread dough, all right? Because we're going to add plenty of butter to it. And that makes it rich and soft and delicious and takes it to the brioche level. So all I'm going to do is mix the dough together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Kerry to add the butter in a little bit at a time. So if you see that little butter dish there, okay, if you lift that. So if we're having a little look at this, Emily, can you just make sure we're cutting to the shot above? It doesn't really look like a normal bread dough that I would make, does it? It looks really dry, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so if you could just, with a spoon, just take a piece of butter off and add it in. So that full chunk, and then start with the next one. So it's important that your butter is soft, room temperature. Okay, now if you want to do this, pop it in. If you want to do it in a mixer, that's absolutely fine. Just mix the dough together, put it on a slow speed, and just add the butter in, one piece at a time, until it's fully incorporated.
Are you putting all this in?
Yeah. If you do it by hand, you need to be careful that your hands aren't too warm. Okay? So you'd be brilliant at this, Emily, with your ice cold fingers.
How do you know?
Oh, Aunt, she's always cold.
I'm always cold.
Always
and
cold.
It's autumn, winter now.
It's the ongoing battle of the office door, whether it's open or closed.
I'm the opposite. Emily, I'm sorry, I just get so hot.
Right. So, have you been out with the dogs this morning?
Yeah, we've been out twice so far.
Yeah?
Going out again later this afternoon.
Okay.
So I put a bit more in. Do you want more on?
No, that's absolutely fine. It's important that you don't try and just whack it all in at the same time because you're trying to incorporate 2 different textures at the same time into something. So you've got to sort of work it physically, but with that comes heat, and you've got to make sure that you're not melting the butter. It's sort of amalgamating in.
If you were to do it in the mixer, what speed?
Slow speed.
Keep it on slow.
Yeah, put it on. And the only reason I'm not doing it in the mixer, because obviously it's so noisy.
It's because you've got me.
Yes, yes. So, obviously, your life has changed. I knew you, 20 years ago.
Crikey.
You used to come in on Saturday mornings.
I was a schoolboy.
You and Angie used to come in and have your coffee, didn't you? And
did,
things like that, and buy bread and all that sort of stuff.
Sunday morning upstairs, coffee, cake, breakfast.
Yeah.
Not in that order either.
But now, obviously, life's totally different for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's slightly changed somewhat.
Yeah.
This is the last bit.
Yeah,
That's the
it.
best bit.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, my accident and how things changed for me after that.
Yeah.
And where we are now is just. I was going to say you couldn't write a book, but you probably could. And
Could maybe write 2.
We probably maybe will, but
Or even a cookbook.
yeah, cooking with dogs.
Yeah.
That could be.
2 men and their dogs. Maybe.
He's got the wrong dog. It's not the same.
Oh, Pear.
Emily, come
What
on,
did he
jump
say?
in here and say. No, it is good. It's changed for the better, though, I think.
Yeah.
And you know, we've made some amazing friends, and we've had amazing
thanks.
opportunities.
So we have now got all the butter incorporated into this dough. Now you want the lightest of touches now, because what we don't want is heat. We don't want to melt the butter, because if you melt the butter, it will come out of the dough.
Okay.
So it's all about trying to enrich the dough. Okay? So that is now ready to prove.
That's it.
That's it. That's the dough done. Now I've got another dough here that I made. So this one, so if you feel that dough there, yeah, really soft. This one has sat in the fridge
Okay, yeah.
and has firmed right up. So this has had a couple of hours in the fridge. So all I'm going to do...
Is that proved then now?
It is proved to the extent that an enriched dough would do. When you have an enriched dough, it's never going to double in size like a normal bread because it's heavy, it's got the butter in it and things like that, okay? So what we're going to do is divide this by 2 because I wanted you to have sweet and savoury, you see, so you can go for either option.
Or all.
Or all. And it kind of, we were thinking about it yesterday, weren't we?
Yeah.
And we were kind of, as Emily and I do, we sort of bat around a few ideas and try and work it out and take it to the extreme and then rein it back in a little bit. And Emily will go, what? And I'll be like, oh, it'll work, I promise.
And it does.
And sometimes, most of the time it works. We developed an amazing gluten-free sausage roll today, didn't we, for a project next week, which will be really good. Can't wait to share that one with you. And you wouldn't even know they were gluten-free. Really, really good.
I have been known to eat a sausage roll.
Yeah, well, I know.
We used to actually make them in the butchers, you know. When I was
Did
a butcher,
you?
Yeah, we used to do handmade pork pies, pulled pies.
Yeah.
With the proper pastry where you put the wooden form in and pull the
Yeah. You pulled the pastry up round it, didn't you?
Yeah, and then we used to cook all the meat and everything and put the gelatin in and blah, blah,
So
blah.
so are you jelly or no jelly pork pie man?
I'm a jelly man.
Are you?
I am that jelly man.
Yeah, you're the jelly man. Right. Okay, so I've divided my dough into 2 equal portions, okay?
Yep.
So we're going to go savoury first. Now, these are my rather famous Marmite glazed walnuts. Help yourself, have a try. These are amazing. I'll tell you how to make them. So all I do is I take walnuts. I work with California walnuts. For me, they're the best ones. There you are. The dog's circling. 2 or 3 handfuls of walnuts into the pan, about 200 mils of water, and then as much Marmite as you like. I like lots on there.
I would just probably have to...
Just check them again.
Yeah, I don't think that was really a good sample.
They're a bit moreish. They're like a twiglet, but with a walnut.
No, twiglets aren't good.
Oh.
No, these are the future.
So
They're better, aren't they?
walnuts, 200 mils of water, and I put a good tablespoon of Marmite in. The Marmite will melt into the water. Stir the walnuts around and it will glaze them, and then as the water evaporates, you end up with glazed walnuts in Marmite. They're the most delicious snack. Can you see those?
Ah, yeah.
They are amazing. And they're so moreish. So if you
I
like...
was thinking that, but he's not passing them back.
So I'm going to in a minute. Here you go.
Thank you. I'll hold these.
Here you go. So, walnuts, really good for you, full of omega oils, good energy source, a good thing to add for your savoury energy bar. And then
Emily.
I've got some mature cheddar. This is out whether you can draw Emily in front of the camera. If anything's going to do it,
I'm close.
it's going to be Marmite walnuts. So,
To move them.
but they're good for you. So, cheese, Marmite in. Okay. So that is our savoury flavour.
Okay.
All right.
What other savoury flavours could you do if you didn't like Marmite?
What about...
Well, you could just do normal walnuts. You could do any kind of roasted nuts would work.
What about sun-dried tomatoes?
You could do sun-dried tomatoes, but they're not really going to add you any energy.
I was thinking just a little bit of flavour.
Yeah, of course you could. Yeah, totally. Sun-dried tomato. What you've got to be careful of is the hydration level.
Yeah.
So if you put sun-blush tomatoes in, they're like halfway between dried and fresh. If you put anything that's too wet, it's going to change the dynamic of the dough. So that is our cheese and walnut. Now, our sweet ones, we've got a good selection of different seeds here. So I've got pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, and linseeds. So these are all really good for you. And then we have got, I'll just grab some scissors. We've got some dried fruits, so the sweetness is going to give you the energy. So we've got some figs.
We're like a pig.
Yeah, chop those up. A couple of those. And then we've got some good dried apricots. And then we've got some cranberries and some sour cherries and actually some blueberries as well in there. So all good sweet things. And to be honest, all things that you would find in an energy bar, really.
Yeah, I think sometimes you've just got to stand it back to where it came from and just get something really simple.
Yeah.
Like say, as in a brioche bun, but something like, you know, I'm not a great fan of energy bars and things like
No.
that, to be honest. I think I'm old school. I'm an egg and chips man.
Just doesn't travel well, does it?
No.
Maybe that's what I'm going to have to do when we go out cooking together. So we've done a few cooks, haven't we?
Yeah, I want to tell you, we kind of... we should do a few more, because
Definitely.
I think it is... it gives us something to do. And I have to eat the food, which is obviously,
Yeah.
These
We did
walnuts
burgers.
are really good, Emily.
We did burgers last time, didn't we?
Yeah, but chew it.
Yeah, just up there. So... Right, so all I'm doing is dividing...
Benefit of the viewers.
Yeah. We're just dividing now the dough. Now, this recipe will make 2 of these sort of snack packs, if you like. And what we do is 40 grams per portion. Okay?
So this is one portion out of the 9.
So we're going to make 9 and then a few of the sweet ones as well. But if you prefer sweet, do 9 of those and 6 of the other. But you can make it how you want it to. So what I've got is these new Masterclass. I've got these amazing stainless steel storage containers.
Okay.
Now, these are perfect for storing your packed lunch in because they've got a lid. But we can actually bake everything in here as well. And that will also go in the microwave.
They look really heavy, and they're not, are they?
No, they're stainless steel, so they're super light, really easy.
And if you fill that, that's classed as one portion.
Well, it'll keep you going on your walk. So all I'm going to do is roll them into little balls. Okay?
The confession I have is when I go walking with food, it's like any time you buy food to go for a walk, within 15 minutes you eat the food.
You'll have energy from the start then.
So what's the route on the walk?
So we're going to set off at 8 o'clock from St. John's Church,
Yeah.
because we have a little bench there that's quite well known.
Yeah.
So that's the starting point. And we're going to walk up Springs Road,
Yeah.
up onto Wallercrag,
I love Wallercrag.
over Wallercrag towards Ashness Bridge, St. John, not St. John's, Watendleth.
Yeah.
Watendleth. Over the top, drop down into Rossway, cross over to the other side of the valley, down by Castle Crag, down past Millican Dalton's Cave, and then up over Cabells.
So you're almost sort of circumnavigating Derwentwater, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a longer loop. I mean, if you were to walk around Derwentwater, it's about 8 miles.
Yeah.
On,
But you're going above it.
So we're going above, so we're doing double that.
Nice.
It's about 16 miles.
It's a good walk, that.
And we're hoping to do it in about 7.5, 8 hours.
Right.
So it's it's not just your standard sort of charity walk, although it is a charity walk.
Yeah.
It's more of a challenge to me, to be honest. That's the idea.
Okay.
And I think.
And what's it in aid of?
So we are doing it for Scottish Little Soldiers.
Right. And what's that?
So Scottish Little Soldiers look after children with bereaved parents from the armed forces,
Okay.
the forces of the Crown, so British children. And so if they've lost a parent in conflict, what people don't realise is when people are based on a military base, they're all together as families, friends, children play together, etc.
It's community, isn't it?
It's that community.
Yeah.
And when something happens and they lose the link to the army or the air force or whichever, obviously they move off base, they haven't got that support network.
No.
And that's where Scotties step in to help children, and they'll take them out and get them in groups and talking and things, and take them for away days and things like that. And it's quite this last year we've had so many people coming to see us, military based, and they tell us the stories of what's going on in Iraq and Afghanistan, and it's pretty horrendous. So we just want to try and help the kids to get back on the.
And I don't necessarily see that part of it, do you?
No, it's never sort of broadcast on the news or anything like that. But it's going on and it's ongoing. So we just last year we did a fundraiser for them, and I think we raised about £16,000.
Wow.
And this year we're currently at about £12,000.
Yeah.
But we're hoping to beat the total of what we did last year. And that's why I'm doing the walk. I just didn't want to just put a post online saying please donate. I want people to see me sweat.
So if anyone wants to donate, where do they go?
They can donate straight onto our Facebook page. And on Friday, the 12th, we'll also have a live tracker on.
Right.
So we will be tracking my progress through our Facebook page.
Yeah.
And also there'll be a link for Just Giving. And we're also, because it's Harry's birthday,
Right.
our dog, one of our dogs, he's going to be wearing a GPS as well, so we're going to track his mileage to
Right.
see what he does.
I bet he does a few more miles than you.
Well, yeah, but I'll probably be quicker. Don't worry.
Is it just Paddy and Harry going with you?
Yeah, we're leaving Max.
It's a big way for Max, isn't it?
I'm just going to stay at home with Max. Actually, I'll say that the other way around. Max will be staying at home and Angela will be working. But he's going to be there at the very end. He's going to come up and meet us at 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
and we're hoping that people will come up at 4 o'clock to the church.
Right.
They'll be able to follow us to see exactly where we are, and they'll know sort of what sort of time we're going to.
Oh, brilliant. Right, we'll make sure we repost that anyway.
Yeah, thanks.
So while you were chatting away there, what I did was I rolled out, so you can see there. Can you see there, Emily?
Yep.
Overhead? There we go. So we've got 9 savouries and 6 sweet, and they're all quite tightly packed together. They're going to prove up and create one loaf, but what it does is it allows you to really easily tear off a piece, carry on, off you go. So that was the sort of the logic behind that. So we're going to let that prove now for about an hour, and I'll show you one that we have got proved and ready.
I like the way it says, tear one off.
Yeah.
So this is the one that is proved and ready to go. You can see how they've all puffed up into each other.
I noticed the savoury ones have gone higher than the fruit ones.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. So that's going to prove up now. That's going to go straight into the oven. We're going to bake this at 180 degrees. It's going to take about 20 minutes to cook. Right, the brioche is in the oven, baking. It's smelling delicious. It's time for main course. Now, Jar, I can't wait to cook you this. This is you, this dish.
Is it?
This is for you, this. It is venison. It's just going to be such a nice dish. So, Holker Hall, the venison's from. Do you know Holker?
We used to go to Hull. They used to do the steak gatherings there years ago.
Right. So, beautiful loin of venison. So, it is the best cut, the simplest cut. It's, for want of a better word, it's the fillet, if you like. So that it's very lean, very easy to cook, absolutely delicious. I've got some flat leaf parsley. I've got some wild mushrooms dried. So these, I'm treating you. I've got you porcini. So the best, in my opinion. They're delicious. We've got some shiitake as well. Some shallots, juniper, capers, butter, bit of red wine. Oh, it's going to take us right back to Tuscany, but we're in Cumbria and we're cooking with Cumbrian produce. It's going to be delicious.
That's why there's no garlic, Emily.
Debate.
Terry does not eat garlic.
I do not eat garlic.
I cook with garlic a lot. Okay, so pasta. So let's get the spaghetti in first. Now, dried spaghetti is really the best, in my opinion. I thought about making fresh pasta with you, and I thought it's just going to be absolute bloody carnage.
Yeah, don't do that.
So we didn't.
It would just end up in a fight.
Pasta in. Okay, so if you're feeding 4, 360 grams of dried pasta will feed 4 people, okay? And then you want a couple of tablespoons of salt in there, and then give that 9 minutes. Pip, you're in the way. Come on, out the
I
way.
thought that was Pete rubbing my leg.
We just watched the
bit.
herbs, Pete. Just
Hey?
watch the chopping board.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's get on with the venison first, okay? So I need a knife. Former butcher, you should know a little bit about venison, do you?
I do know a lot about venison, and it's not a meat that I would eat a lot of.
No?
I'm not really a gamey person.
Okay.
And I did have venison once, I must confess, and it wasn't cooked very well, and I didn't really enjoy it because it's very dry, isn't it? It's so lean.
Yeah, it's lean.
There's no sort of marbling of fat through it or anything.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide with venison.
Yeah.
You've got to get it right. It is very lean. Treat it pretty much like you would beef, in my opinion.
Do you think that's people shy away from it because of that? You either get it right or it's wrong.
And I think historically, we always got it wrong. Like in the 70s and 80s, not me, I wasn't about then, but
It was always like cremated, wasn't it? It was like...
it was venison casserole.
Yeah.
It killed it for everyone.
Yeah.
So dried porcinis, okay? A little bit of boiling water over the top, just till it covers the surface, and just let those hydrate. So we've got a nice mix of fresh and dried. Okay, so a little bit of olive oil onto the venison. Now this is at room temperature, this venison, because we're going to cook it sort of medium rare. Okay?
So you oil the meat and not the pan?
Always oil the meat and not the pan, always. Because I've got complete control then. If I put oil in there and it gets too hot, it'll start smoking. Okay? So, plenty of black pepper. And then season it up with salt. Now the salt will do two things. Obviously it will help it taste really good, but also it will draw out the moisture from the surface, which will allow it to sear much better. Now I've just flipped it over and I've seen we've got a little bit of sinew. So this isn't fat, this is sinew, which needs to come off because it won't render. So I'm just going to nick that off. This is all really quick cook, so there's no time for
dying to
rendering.
Get in there and do this.
Are you?
I'm about to do it properly, but I won't. You flip it up on the back and flip.
Yeah, no, but I'm on a plate.
Yeah, but you put it on the board.
I'm fine. See?
People get that bit later.
What would you use?
There's nothing worse than cooking in front of a butcher. Is there, Pip? The dog is down here, right by our feet.
Hi, Pip.
Pip.
It's like a scene.
Now you've let her do that, she's going to do that
It's like
every
a scene
week.
From Alien. Hello, darling. Hello.
Well, she's very excited because what we'll do is when we've cooked up the brioche, we're going to go outside and let the dogs have a run around and we'll have a little taste of it, you see. So I think she's quite excited that the dogs are coming. So...
I would have been sacked for that.
Would you? Yeah, but I'm the chef.
That's half the joint gone.
You Cumbrians are so tight, honestly. Right, so while we've been doing that, pan's getting nice and hot, okay? So let's just test it. So I can't hear a sizzle, not a good one. I want it hotter, okay? So let's crank the pan up. You need a sear, you need it hot, you need it ready to cook, okay? Don't we, Pip?
Pip says I like mine medium rare. She's not that bothered.
She's not. Will you give up, dog? Right, okay. So, in the pan. That's the sound we want. All right? Okay, so, while our venison is cooking, we can prepare our ingredients. Now, got a couple of shallots, okay? So we cut down in half.
What would you use if you couldn't get a hold or you didn't want to use shallots?
I'd probably use some red onions, because white onions are very strong. And shallots are quite mild, so you just get that sort of mild oniony flavour.
I've just realised you're left-handed.
I am.
Scary.
All the best chefs are left-handed.
Really?
Yeah. All the best chefs. Gordon Ramsay, he's left-handed.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he one of the best chefs, Emily?
He's a damn good chef, in my opinion. Love him or hate him, he is a brilliant chef. He really, really is. There we go. You good at onion cutting? You want to go?
No.
Okay.
It's a shallot, it's not an onion. I'm going to talk to you about garlic.
Go on.
Everything you buy has garlic in it, and if
Yeah.
you don't like something, it really restricts you what you can actually eat, because it's just about in everything that you buy nowadays, whether it's a pack of crisps or, you know, a ready prepared meal or whatever, it's got so much garlic in.
See this? This is the smallest violin in the world playing for you.
That's a sharp knife. I get about 3 hours sleep a night. If I eat garlic, I don't get any sleep for a week, and that's just the way it is. I don't know why.
I feel for you.
Yeah.
I love garlic. I couldn't eat without it. We cook with it all the time, don't we?
Garlic is the god of the ingredients.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm just going to move that pasta around a little bit.
And jam.
Big pan, okay? Lots of salted water. Give your pasta space to cook. Do not try and squeeze it into a little milk pan, because it just won't cook properly, all right? Right, venison. I haven't touched this. We don't turn it until it's ready. And because we use cast aluminium frying pans, we get them nice and hot. They're super non-stick. We just turn it over. And because we put that salt on, we've got that nice caramelised colour on it, yeah?
Yep, we like that.
Yeah, so if you were cooking a steak, lamb, beef, chicken, doesn't matter. Just don't fiddle around with it. Don't mess about. Just let it cook.
You also get that if you put too many in the pan, don't you? Because it starts to boil it.
Well, yeah, and you drop the temperature.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't crowd the pan. So, we've got some shiitake mushrooms here. So, you're a big mushroom fan?
Like mushrooms, yeah. I don't eat wild mushrooms anymore. I used to, but not anymore.
Right.
We used to go out and forage.
I daren't forage.
No.
I saw a porcini the other day, or a cep. I was so tempted. It was in Winlatter, because they are amazing, the mushrooms in there. I mean, we took the kids just to have a look round because of the bright red ones and all sorts. But I found a cep, and I was so tempted, but I'm a coward. I need to go with somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, because it is a bit scary, the prospect. If you get it wrong...
It's been an amazing year for any sort of like fungi, toadstools and things like that, but I just don't eat them anymore now. We used to eat the wild mushrooms, but it's... No.
There are some amazing ones out in the Lake District, aren't there? Some really good ones.
When you see them in the shops and they're so expensive,
yeah.
if you don't know what you're doing...
It's dangerous, isn't it? I was always told, for every edible mushroom, there's pretty much an identical poisonous one. Yeah. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's just terrifying. Yeah. It really, really is. So what's your favourite walk in the Lake District? Have you got one?
Any with a dog.
But there must be one place, your go-to place, where you think, I don't know where to go, and then I'll be like, yeah, I'll always... Mine's Waller. I absolutely love Waller Crag.
We have the Challenge Walk, which is just over the way here, and that's at Blease Road. And you walk around from Trelford up to Blease, and then just down to the end of the valley.
Yeah.
And to me, it's a 3.5 mile walk. It's like, if you've got a couple of hours, just go and do that walk. Sit at the end of the valley and just look at the view, and just think to yourself, I am the richest person in the world. and that's the truth, because it is just such a nice view.
Yeah, yeah. No,
and it's accessible as well.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, I mean, the big walks are lovely, aren't they? But
yeah,
you can easily get places quickly, can't you?
I think what we have to do now is start tailoring walks for people that are not as able as the mountaineers, the ice climbers, the thrill seekers.
Well, my mother-in-law has just got a mobility chair, and we're now looking so she uses the railway line a lot, because all of a sudden now they can walk together, Emma's mum and dad, and it's brilliant because they've been able to do it for 10, 15 years, and now it's made a huge difference to her life. She no longer sits at home and reads a book while we all have a walk. She comes with us. So it's made a big difference. Right, that piece of venison's coming out. That one's going to stay in. Now I've got juniper. Yep. Use juniper much?
In gin.
Have a smell once you crack it open. Don't eat it.
Oh yeah, that's gin.
It's gin, isn't it?
That is gin.
That is the main botanical of gin. And it is beautiful with venison. It's proper winter spice for me. And it just works so well.
I won't put that one back in.
Yeah, no, you can keep that one.
I'll keep it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to lift...
Where would you get juniper from?
Just from the supermarket. It's really easy to get hold of. It's in the dried spice section. It's not hard to get hold of. In with our shallots and our juniper. And our mushrooms. Yeah.
There's lots around here. There's loads of juniper.
I think where I saw them last was up behind Mungrisdale. Yeah, down that way, along the river.
Slineside.
Yeah. There's a lot there. Right. So, when you're cooking shallots and mushrooms, it's important to get the water out. So you need a bit of salt, and that will draw it out for you. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our dried mushrooms. Have a smell of those now.
Shall I drink it? Oh, see, it just smells like those nuts. It smells like my light.
So squeeze that out. And that liquid that we've got there is what we call mushroom stock. And it is just so intense. It's almost like beef stock, but it comes from mushrooms. So it's really, really meaty. It's really, really good to use.
What would you use that in?
We're going to use some in here. We're going to use it instead of beef stock. Dog's getting very excited. Hello! She's grown so much, hasn't she?
She's doing well. She's very friendly. Aren't you, darling? Yes, you are. I know.
So we're going to add some butter in. Can't believe how much she's grown in, what is she, nearly 6 months old. She used to sit on my lap as I was editing videos, and now she spills out everywhere. So a little bit of red wine, not a lot. Is that smallest violin in the world again?
Slightly bigger. I was just feeling sorry for the dog.
So, cook this down. We've got to get the moisture out to intensify the flavour, okay? Smells good already.
See, I could just eat that on bread right now.
Yeah, mushrooms on toast, cooked well, amazing. So what's to come then for you guys? Obviously, lots more live streaming. I mean, it's your day. It's every day, isn't it? You're out.
We're out every day, twice a day, weather permitting.
Yeah.
And we've got Harry's birthday weekend on the 20th of November. So we've got something planned for that. But
Yeah.
It's like a private little event.
Right.
And then on the 21st, we're doing like a meet and greet walk.
Right.
And then after that, we've got, hopefully, we've been we're at an award ceremony.
Right.
But I don't know what the outcome is of that yet.
Okay.
Apart from that, we just carry on as
Doing your thing.
Just a normal quiet day.
There's never a normal quiet day, is there?
Well, you never really seem to know what's coming, and the thing is, it's all because of the dogs, really. It's
Yeah.
not, nothing, it's just the dogs,
Yeah.
and that's great. As long as they're happy, we're happy.
Yeah.
And as long as they get fed, I get fed.
We're working on it. Right. So can you see this pan here, Emily?
Yeah.
What I've done is I've moved everything to the side because I want hot space for the wine to go in. So a glass of wine, we boil it, we get rid of the alcohol, and all we're left with is the flavour. That's what we want.
That was a small glass.
Flavour. All right? And then what we do is we take a little bit of our dried mushroom stock. Now, when you're using this stock, you've got to be careful because all the sand sits at the bottom. So never use the gritty bits. So just hold on to it. And if you don't use it all, freeze it because it's amazing just to throw into casseroles and stews. Okay. So that, with the butter, the stock and the wine, is just going to come together beautifully.
I'm just wondering why Emily's giggling in the background.
She's getting hungry.
She's very
I'm very hungry.
I don't think she's had any lunch out of you.
Nope. I'd be willing to share.
Yeah. She's had 2 gluten-free sausage rolls this morning now. Right.
She's had about £3 of those. Not
All in the name of research.
grass in a rough bush.
No?
So, can you see it's almost like gravy now, isn't it? Yeah.
like that.
So, a few capers just for that little bit of acidity, and because we've got no garlic in there.
What a shame, eh?
No. Right. Pasta is done.
Am I the only one that doesn't like garlic?
Yeah.
Somebody support me here.
So could you add garlic to it if you, obviously it's not in the recipe today, but could you add it?
Loads of garlic. Right. Really important not to drain your pasta in a colander, okay? Because the Italians will shoot you. Okay? You lift it out because there's loads of starch water in here and that helps make sauces creamy and delicious. Okay? It's kind of like the secret that we never knew until we all started to travel and...
I'm just realising this is a dish that you wouldn't eat on a first date, isn't it?
There's no garlic in it.
Yeah, but you're going to have spaghetti hanging down your face.
Could help. Lady and the Tramp, it didn't do them any harm, did it? So, we want our flat leaf parsley. Roll it into a ball, chop it really, really nice and fine.
Are you just using the leaf or?
I'm using the leaf and there's a little bit of stalk in there, and when the stalk's in there, chop it as fine as you can. Okay, if it's really thick stalks, pick them off. Okay, so parmesan.
Oh, good. Isn't it?
All needs parmesan. Always needs good parmesan.
I'm impressed by the size of your grater, Pete.
Are you? Well, this is like parmesan, like good for lemon, zesting, and parmesan cheese. It's perfect for it. Okay, that can go there. Parsley in, and then we start to really mix all this together. Now, this as a vegetarian dish on its own would be absolutely delicious without the venison. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't like venison, oh, I do love parmesan.
I didn't get it.
There.
I wouldn't just help myself in somebody else's kitchen.
Oh, I think we both know you would.
I have a slab of the venison. by now.
Okay, so let's have a little go at that. Do you eat vegetarian food? I know you like meat, don't you? I'm a former butcher, I guess.
I do eat vegetarian food.
Do you?
I like cheese on toast. No, I do. Angela eats quite a lot of vegetarian.
Yeah.
And I do like meat, you know, and I think
Yeah.
everything in moderation is good,
Yeah, yeah.
especially if you get, you know, good quality local source food. I think
Yeah.
it's good. I don't like mass-produced food
No.
at all.
So, you ready to try a bit of venison first? There you go.
I'll just have a little bit.
See what you think. Better than your last venison, I hope.
That is delicious.
God, it's quiet, wasn't
I
it?
know, the
That
suspense.
is.
That is, that is. The thing is, I had wild venison, and it was very, very gamey, very strong.
Yeah.
That is just like eating steak, like pure steak.
So, what I'm thinking is, Max, Paddy, Harry, we really should, shouldn't we? Otherwise they're going to burn a hole in us with their eyes, aren't they? There we go. Pip, there's 4 pieces there. Hang on. Emily,
I was going to say, dogs are being fed.
Carlos, there we go. Everyone's got a piece, right? Okay. So, the reason why I've cooked it quite rare as well is because it's going to go into a hot pasta dish. Now, if you cook that at sort of perfect medium rare, then put it into here, it's then going to go to medium, okay? So we switch the power off, okay? And then because it's rare, it can take just that little bit more cooking time, okay?
Is that your wife? Fine. There, look, just there.
And now, all it's using is the warmth, okay? It's literally ready to serve, okay? So,
You know, if you said to me, try this piece of steak, I would actually think that is beef.
yeah, you wouldn't know, would you? So, it will be farmed venison on the Holker estate, you see. So, it's not really gamey and full of, you know, over-flavoured and just sort of old, basically. This is sort of young, it's tender, it's treated well, it's looked at, everything's been done right.
Is this the starter you're preparing?
There we go. Right. So, you've got to finish it with a little bit of Parmesan. Because it does make all the difference, in my opinion. And then, when you finish pasta with a tiny little bit of good extra virgin olive oil, you get a real silkiness to the dish. So when you actually taste it, it's kind of that mouthfeel. You get that rich, silky flavour. And the warmth of the pasta will really bring the olive oil to life. But there you go. That is your venison ragu.
Thank you very much.
Without garlic. Have a little taste. Tell me what you think.
What? Spaghetti on camera?
Go for it. And our brioche is out the oven and ready to go. I think we'll take this outside. We'll have a taste of this, let the dogs out for a walk, get a bit of fresh air and see what Kerry thinks of this. But thank you very much for joining us. I hope you enjoy it. If you scan the QR code on the bottom, you will find all the recipes on masterclass.co. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Masterclass, who provide all my kitchen equipment.
So
You go for it.
I'm not really sure if they like venison, to be honest. They may turn their nose up at it. So we'll just try Max first. Oh, hello, Paddy. No, just wait. Well, Max seems to like it. And
Yeah.
should we say, ladies? Pip?
Pip?
Where's Pip?
Oh.
Pip? Do you like venison, Pip? It's here, it's here. Oh, yeah, you do.
Oh.
You do. Ow! Ah! That's blood. Right, sit. You can have that. There is blood. Good boy.
Oh, wow. How gentle that one was.
Oh, it's a good boy.
Do you see that, Pip? Gentle. So the dog's got their venison. Now, this is the energy pack that I've given Kerry for his sponsored walk. So it's warm out of the oven. Hopefully.
We needn't wash this plate, Pete.
No. I think it's had its day, that one, isn't it? Are you going sweet or savoury then? Here you go. Here's one.
What's it? All right, I'll go. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go savoury.
Are you? Okay, so you should just be fairly easily be able to just tear them off, not for you, and just go for it.
I don't know why I'm smelling it.
Oh, yeah. Really good. What did you go, sweet or savoury? Savoury, didn't you?
Savoury.
I knew you would.
It's Emily's walnuts.
Well,
That's pretty good as well because it's not heavy, but it hits the spot, doesn't it?
yeah. Straight out of your rucksack, grab a piece, or you could even make this for work, and you can just graze through the day if you need it. Really easy to do, and as I said, scan the QR code on the bottom. If you want the recipes, it'll take you to masterclass.co. Sorry about the canine chaos, but this is the world we live in now. I went and got a dog. What was I thinking? Hope you enjoyed those recipes. I know I did. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week for the next episode.